What is going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Zachariah Jazz, back at it again to talk about the controversial topic of the day. Bill Cosby. Fuck Bill Cosby. Now, I know some of y'all up in arms. Whoop-de-doo. Bill Cosby got out. Hey. Well, fuck Bill Cosby. He's a rapist piece of shit. And I believe in abolishing the industrial prison complex, so I'm not the one to get into punishment. But he definitely should not be walking free, right? So let me get to a point that I used to love Bill Cosby. And when all this started, admittedly, I was one of those people like, oh no, not Bill Cosby. It couldn't be Bill Cosby, right? But on the other hand, all these women are coming forward and he's going to jail or he's going to prison. Do we just not believe them? He's going to prison. You know, there are some cases, there have been some cases, many cases. Well, maybe not many, I'm not sure. I don't know the fucking statistics or whatever. Where a black man has been behind bars for being falsely accused of raping a woman. But in the cases that I know of, it was one woman, not 60. So, next point I'm going to make. And if you didn't hate me before, you're really going to hate me now. And you're really going to want to fight me now. Your favorite activist, Tay Berry. At it again, showing us who he really is. A misogynist piece of shit. He said Bill Cosby free, and the judge said he should never been charged. I'm going to read his post and some of his comments, and then I'm going to fact check. That was the first one. A member of the community said, "You agree? There were 33 survivors that came forward with their stories. Truly heartbreaking. This is American. Or why is America so against women?" Tay said, "I'm not saying all of them was lying, but I still honestly don't think Bill was doing all that. A woman judge is the one who overturned it all." So, because if it was a black cop that had killed that guy, would the black cop be innocent because he's black? Come on. She continued to say, "Your opinion has me shook. Very disappointing. I've been calling this nigga out for a long time." His defender said, "Women don't lie." Another member of the community replied, "Over 50 women and you don't believe them?" Tay said, "The judge must have not believed them." Then his little advocate said, "I don't know the facts of the case, but I damn sure know women lie because I've been lied on before because a bitch regretting it afterward. I stand with real victims, not liars." Misogynist number 2. Member of the community said to his Tay's advocate defender, "Not a big Me Too movement guy, huh?" Tay replied, "Nope, I'm not, because I've seen too many black men get caught up in that bullshit." "What about black women?" "I'm speaking on men because we talking about Bill Cosby. I'll always stand up for black women as a black man. I got a black daughter and mother." So because you have a black mother and daughter, you're not a misogynist? Evidence to the contrary. So, here is the fact-checking part of all this argument. Pennsylvania's highest court threw out Bill Cosby's sexual assault conviction and released him from prison Wednesday in a stunning reversal of fortune for the comedian once known as America's Dad, ruling that the prosecutor who brought the case was bound by his predecessor's agreement not to charge Cosby. Second screenshot. But the Pennsylvania Supreme Court said Wednesday that District Attorney Kevin Steele, who made the decision to arrest Cosby, was obligated to stand by his predecessor's promise not to charge Cosby, though there was no evidence that agreement was ever put in writing. Justice David Wecht, writing for a split court, said Cosby had relied on the previous district attorney's decision not to charge him when the comedian gave his potentially incriminating testimony in Constand's civil case. The court called Cosby's subsequent arrest an affront to fundamental fairness, particularly when it results in a criminal prosecution that was foregone for more than a decade. It said justice and fair play and decency require that the district attorney's office stand by the decision of the previous DA. That is not a testimony of innocence. That is saying these are reasons why I should not be charged. Not that I didn't do it. In a statement, Steele, the district attorney, said Cosby went free on a procedural issue that is irrelevant to the facts of the crime, as I just said. He commended Constand for coming forward and added, "My hope is that this decision will not dampen the reporting of sexual assaults by victims. We know that there have been cases where a woman has falsely accused a black man. Or a man. I haven't heard of too many that weren't black, but it happens, right? This is not one of them. And nobody who is a victim of a sexual assault by any man of any color should never be afraid to come forward. Fuck a Me Too movement. This is about you and what happened to you and what these men did to you. Never be afraid to come forward." "I'm furious to hear this news," actor Amber Tamblyn, a founder of Time's Up, an advocacy group for sex crime victims, said on Twitter, "I personally know women who this man drugged and raped while unconscious. Shame on the court and this decision." Here's to rebuttal one of the points that some people in these screenshots I'm going to share said that 33 of these women that came forward were all paid to lie about this shit. Okay, so let's talk about that. Even though Cosby was charged only with the assault on Constand, that's only one account, not the 60 that came forward after. With the assault on Constand, the judge at his trial allowed 5 other accusers to testify that they too were similarly victimized by Cosby in the 1980s. Prosecutors called them as witnesses to establish what they said was a pattern of behavior on Cosby's part. Cosby's lawyers had argued on appeal that the use of the 5 additional accusers was improper, but the Pennsylvania High Court did not weigh in on the question, saying it was moot, given the finding that Cosby should not have been prosecuted in the first place. In sentencing Cosby, the trial judge had declared him a sexually violent predator who could not be safely allowed out in public and needed to report to authorities for the rest of his life. In May, Cosby was denied parole after refusing to participate in sex offender programs behind bars. He said he would resist the treatment programs and refuse to acknowledge wrongdoing, even if it meant serving the full 10 years. He is not denying guilt. He's just saying why he shouldn't be doing the time. Questioned under oath as part of that lawsuit, Cosby said he used to offer quaaludes to women who wanted to have sex with. He eventually settled with Constand for $3.4 million. He paid out because he knew what he did to her. Portions of the deposition later became public at the request of the Associated Press and spelled Cosby's downfall, opening the floodgates on accusations from other women and destroying the comic's good guy reputation and career. More than 60 women came forward to say Cosby violated them. The AP, Associated Press, who wrote this article, does not typically identify sexual assault victims without their permission, which Constant has granted. Cosby in the deposition acknowledged giving Quaaludes to a 19-year-old woman before having sex with her at a Las Vegas hotel in 1976. Cosby called the encounter consensual. On Wednesday, the woman, who was 19, who he gave Quaaludes to, now 64, said the court ruling takes my breath away. I just think it's a miscarriage of justice. This is about procedure. It's not about the truth of the women, she said. Saragnesi, sorry if I don't know how to pronounce that, says she took solace in the fact that in the fact Cosby served nearly 3 years behind bars. That's as good as it gets in America for sex crime victims. That is depressing. It's like the sentencing of Derek Chauvin and having to be okay with the 22 and a half years. Granted, it is the most we've ever gotten in one of those cases. I still don't feel like it's enough. And 3 years served is not enough. Right, I am an abolitionist, but I can't think of another punishment for him right now. And I will get to that, but still. This is not cool, and nobody should be celebrating this shit. There is no denial of guilt in any of this. He's just saying why he shouldn't do the time because he made a former deal with the previous DA or prosecutor, whatever the fuck he is. Nobody should be commending him. Nobody should be congratulating him, cheering him on, or nothing. As black people and as black men, we need to do better. And we should not advocate for this shit. Misogynists do that. Sexists do that. People who conform to the patriarchy and who uphold the patriarchy do this shit. It's wrong.